Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. Much respect to the brothers that are out there preaching and teaching the truth worldwide across the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and freedom for this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, the house of David, and the Akim and Akwaf that might be listening to this lesson on today. This is your brother Abad Yabab, coming through with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And the title of my lesson is, Don't Waste Your Time with Fools. And fools is defined as a person who acts unwisely or imprudently. Imprudent is more or less defined as lacking discretion, wisdom, or good judgment. And a fool is basically a silly person. And as we come into the final leg of this race, we see the finish line, and we know that we don't have much time. The prophecies are being fulfilled. Things are happening as I speak to let us know that Yahweh Shai soon come, and we don't have time to waste. Definitely don't have time to waste on anyone that might be a scoffer or mocker, or someone that might be trying to get us unfocused in this truth. So we don't have time to waste on anyone, whether it be a family member, whether it be an associate, someone you used to call friend, someone that you might work with, anyone that might come up and ask you questions, but knowing that they're really not interested, but they're just trying to make you get off of what you're doing to be distracted. We don't have time to waste on those particular type people. We have to make sure that we're focused, that our relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is where it needs to be, because we are in the times to where we're close. We're close to getting that freedom from this wicked place, knowing that Esau is at the point to where he's going to start doing things because he knows that he has little time left to try to destroy us, to try to get us to where we're not able to do what we need to do for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So we have to make sure that we're using our time wisely and we're not wasting time on fools. So my first scripture is coming from Proverbs 1:7, and it reads, it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." So with that being said, we know that a fool is not looking for anything that we have as far as this truth. They're not looking for any wisdom. They're not looking for any discipline. They're not looking for anything that's going to put them on the right path, because they're comfortable and they're happy with what they have right now. Like I said, it could be a family member, it could be an ex-friend, it could be someone that you're working with, whatever the case may be. They're happy with what they have right now, so they don't care about you wanting your salvation. Matter of fact, they're gonna scoff and mock and gonna make it seem like you're in a cult or you're doing something that is not conducive to what you know is true spirituality. They want you to be acting as if you're this Christian type person, to where, you know, that you will be cool with what is going on with the world right now, and not really focus and have your mind stayed upon what Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has for us and his will being done. So we need to make sure that we're not letting anyone distract us, and we're not wasting our time with fools. Proverbs 10:14 reads, it says, "Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction." So being in this truth, we desire to have more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We're craving it. We're desiring it because we know that we need to be able to be in a position to be on those chairs with Yahweh Shai when he comes. So we have work to be done, and we need everything that is needed and necessary for that to happen. But a fool, he cares not about what is happening. He cares not about salvation. At this point, he's going to wait as if nothing is transpiring right now. But when all hell breaks loose, then it's going to be, help me, you know, get me out of this. And we don't have time to deal with that at this point. Someone that doesn't care, someone that's just trying to be pleasured by what his flesh is desiring and not really be deeply rooted in this word, because that's where Yahweh Shem Yahshua wants us to be deeply rooted in his word. He says he will not have us to be lukewarm. He would rather us be hot or cold, because if we were lukewarm, he would spew us out of his mouth. So we have to make sure that we're on fire for Yahweh Shem Yahshua and not fall out of this truth, because otherwise we will not be on those chariots when Yahweh Shah comes, and we desire to be there. Proverbs 14:7-9 reads, it says, "Go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor." So we have to stay away from fools. We have to make sure that we are with like-minded individuals. Therefore, we can be like iron sharpening iron. We can continue to grow. But around fools, we will not. You know, and they think that they're wise by the things that they do, but they're deceiving themselves. And we don't have time for that. They make fun of, you know, the prophecies being fulfilled. They make fun of, you know, Yahushua coming back. They make fun of chariots, making it seem like it's, you know, aliens coming in UFOs. But we know that we don't have time to try to explain something that should already be understood. And right now, at this point, there's no time for us to be laid up with fools, because they will get us destroyed just like them, and we'll be in that lake of fire when Yahweh comes, and we don't desire that. Proverbs 15:7 reads, it says, "The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the foolish do it not so." So we are out there preaching and teaching the truth. We are giving those that desire the word, we're giving them direction. We're giving them that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We're feeding the flock. We're feeding the sheep. We're doing the work. But the fool is not doing that. The fool is scoffing and mocking, as I said before, and many times before, that they don't desire salvation at this point, because they are comfortable where they are, and we are not. So we can't waste time with what they're doing and where they're at this point. Proverbs 18:2 reads, "A fool have no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself." So a fool has no interest in this truth. They have no interest in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All they want to do is tell you how they feel, tell you what's on their mind, tell you what they perceive to be knowledge, and put that forth. And all the babbling, all the, you know, the misunderstandings that they have will only confuse one that is not deeply rooted, and that can be distracted. So therefore, we cannot be distracted. We have to be focused, and we cannot let them stop, block, or hinder us from doing the work that we need to do and that we desire to do for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. My final scripture is coming from Proverbs as well, in the 18th chapter in the 7th verse, and it says, "A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul." So just them, by what they speak, can cause them their destruction. And it's going to cause them to put themselves in a predicament when the end comes, because they're too busy doing what their flesh desires, too busy being misdirected by what this world is saying to do and the pleasures of this world. And we don't have time for that. We have to be focused. We have to be led by the Spirit, and we have to do the work. And it's all about being focused. It's all about letting Yahweh Shem Yahshua lead us. But we have to have the mind to serve. We have to have a mind to want to study to show ourselves approved, to be out on the block preaching and teaching, to hear from Yahweh Shem Yahshua when things are not how we see it to be. When there's blockages before us spiritually, we have to pray. We have to fast. There's things that we must do and that we know to do, and we can't let a fool determine our path. So with that being said, we can't waste time on fools. So we have to make sure that we're following Yahweh Shem Yahshua and staying on a narrow path. So that is the conclusion of my lesson. I pray that all that were listening were edified. And as always, I give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh. And until my next lesson, Shalom.